All right, good morning, everybody. So nice to have you here. Happy Friday, we made it. So, I was on a bit of a caffeine free kick this week from Saturday, and I was gonna keep that going through today, but I said, let's celebrate. I said, I'm gonna put the coffee on, and we'll share a coffee. Grab a coffee or tea or water, your beverage of choice. And we dial in on a nice little session heading into the weekend. So, wherever you're at, hope you're doing so well. Here is to better health and a little celebration of making it through the week, some positive energy heading into the weekend. Want to bring some encouragement to your day. That's what I want. Encouragement to my day. We build some good energy. And to do that, I thought I'd hit you right off the bat with some beautiful words from this book to close out our week. We've done some deep diving this week. I say, Mountain is You. We did great thinking there. Brought it in. I just loved the thinking yesterday. From Atomic Habits, that we are on a transformation. If you want, but I like that. Do you resonate with that? Let me know. Do you, are you on a journey? Do you resonate with the word transformation? What did you think about that? I loved it. To me, I say yes. Let us transform ourselves into something better. Happy Friday. So nice to have you here. Just wonderful to share this space. Okay, here's some centering words for our day from Rick Rubin. We take a little break from our deep diving and deep thinking and embrace some of this thinking. Remember, this is an artistic book. We're like really dialing in on our way of being. And this is just a short little passage titled, It's Always There. And he's going to be comparing kind of two concepts that are always there. Okay. It says, I am strongly affected by the sun. When it's a bright day, I feel energized. When it's gloomy, I'm gloomy. Do you feel that way ever? I mean, this certainly resonates with me. Like some days it's okay where it's like, some days a cloudy day is just exactly what you need, like just to like take things down a notch, and it's okay. But sometimes, especially winter, man, where we are now, it's like the dark like even gets me more than the cold, Go to work and it's dark and come home and it's dark and it's just dark. Yeah. Sometimes I've described myself as like a human plant because I'm like, do I like photosynthesize? Because like when the sun is out, I'm just like this. Feel the energy flowing. Okay, listen to how he goes on. This is the key. On those overcast days, it helps to tune into the fact that the sun is still there. It's just hidden behind the thick layer of clouds. At noon, the sun is high in the sky, regardless of how light or dark it is outside. Okay, and we're going to compare that with the next idea, but isn't that the case? And isn't that encouraging? And so many metaphors that we can derive from this, like wherever we're at in life. This can be actual physical clouds, right? Physical clouds are hiding the sun, and it's dark. Have you ever done it where you've taken off in the rain on a flight, and it's like rainy and gloomy, and all of a sudden you just break through the clouds, and it's like the brightest, sunniest day up there, and you're like, man, this is why people become pilots, because you look out the window, and it's just like beautiful clouds and sunshine, and it's there all the time, And then, like, this can be a great metaphor for our, life also. We got a lot of clouds on our metaphorical horizon sometimes, and oh man, like to just dial into that sort of space and see, okay, we've done the sessions, try to be as optimistic as possible, build up all these good vibes, good feelings. We say, look toward the light, lifting ourselves up, right? When we are in a dark season, when we are struggling with anything, discouragement, depression, anxiety, all of these dark, sort of heavy sort of things, we can see those. We often describe them in our life as clouds, right? And we have seasons we recognize in our life. It's a sunny day. Everything is going our way, right? Can we take this sort of picture, this sort of real situation into the difficult spots, into our winter? Maybe it's just right now. We had a sunny day yesterday. I know Pat said that. Sunny day yesterday, it helps, right? Realize the sun is always there. Okay, next step, listen to this. In the same way, regardless how much we're paying attention, the information we seek is out there. If we're aware, we get to tune in to more of it. If we are less aware, we will miss it. Just the information that we are seeking, which is like the knowledge, the roadmap of the way of being. We're trying to figure it out, right? Like, it's not clear. We said, like, no instruction manual came with us on our entry into this world. Cultivating the process of awareness, learning from our experiences, the process of like receiving information from the environment. Like, what is the path? We see what is working, what is not working. As we open up the awareness, we realize, hey, the knowledge is there, the path is there. Just like the sun is there, we can't always see it. It's hidden in the clouds. The path that we are looking for, right? It's not a straight line. We've described this winding, okay? This is how we can have grace for ourselves. If life was a straight path and all you have to do, just walk in this direction, never stop, you get where you want to go, like, well, then you could say, okay, if you don't have everything figured out, it's like, are you kidding? Like, it's, you just walk the path, okay? Straight line. But like, obviously it's not that way, right? So like, here we can see we can have lots of grace for ourselves, right? Life is not just one bright sunny day and with a straight path and we just walk. Okay? But what is it? It's like a path that goes like this. And so all of a sudden we see, oh, we got some tools here. Open up the awareness. Seek all the information that we can. And so this, I love this analogy, right? Just like the sun is behind the clouds, there is a path. I want you to be encouraged by it. Do you ever feel like, man, where is the path? Am I even on it? I was questioning this myself this week. I was like, am I on a path or am I wandering off somewhere, you know? This beautiful little piece of writing helping to center myself this week. Realize, no, knowledge is there, path is there. Let us just create some awareness for it, create some space. So that'll be my encouragement for you for this weekend as we're heading forward. Reflect on that. Hopefully we get some actual sun. Hopefully that can be like a super encouragement. And then take that mindset and that thought. Are there dark places or things that you are dealing with right now? Struggles that you have? Do you see those as clouds in the situation? And can you see that the sun is still there, just waiting to burn through them? It's trying its best. We can connect with it, even through the clouds, through a process of awareness. Okay, I tried to hit those thoughts right away. Sometimes, on the our sessions, I chit chat a lot and then get to like a thing and share a thought. I thought I'd try. I'll just get it out there, see if people have reflections on that, and then also I just open things up for your thoughts, questions, perspectives. What I was saying the other day, remember I gave the little story about like the kids at the track meet, and like, unlike going to the Olympics, like if you yell at these kids, if you cheer them on, they actually will they'll respond, they'll run faster. It was so funny. I loved that. They do. Just, this is the real value of the live show. I want it to be your show. This has been the reflection that I've had lately. I see myself, I want to be the host of the show. I want it to be an audience experience. How do you do that? I don't exactly know, I'm learning to go. Learning as we go. And so I just want to let everybody know I'm like super open to feedback. Like, what would be better? I read a really interesting article the other day. The gentleman was saying, okay, if you're watching a movie right now of your life, and you're the main character in the story that is your life, and you're watching it, what would the audience be yelling at you right now to do? And I was like, that's very interesting. Like, see, that's like a construct that you could use to like reflect on your life. Try to get out of our own head a little bit. Say, what would the audience be saying? Like, oh, like, look at this. Like, you just got to do that. So I was thinking about that in the context of our experience here. I'm like actually being on a camera. For goodness sakes. Like, what would the audience say? Well, I can just ask. That's what I was thinking. I can just ask. Like, make sure you know. Send your suggestions to me in the chat, in the comments. Or go simplefasting.com and you can hit contact. And I give you my email, DRZ, that's Dr. Z, at simplefasting.com. You can always send me a note. Some people don't like to chat in the chat, which is totally fine. But I've had people just send a nice email, and we can have a chat there. So that is always open, always an option. We are on a journey together. That's what I say. I am on a journey. I know this is my reflection as I was just thinking about this session. Try to think, like, open up some space. To me, just to say that, when I say, man, open up some space, look what I do, right? I just take a pause. I take a deep breath. Feels so good, actually. You know what I mean? Like, and maybe that is something we need to bring into a Friday. We're making it through the day. We got a lot to do. I know my to-do list. Even when I'm here, right? I've got like the process in my mind. I've got a little clock, running, thinking all the stuff I want to check off my list. Once this is done, right? So this is the process I'm trying to model. Let's just kind of set that aside. It's going to take care of ourselves. Let's pull ourselves down into this present moment. Show isn't over. I got to tell myself, see, we're right here. We aren't getting ahead of ourselves. Just be present here. You say, take a deep breath. I think in the big picture, I want this show. Do I call it a show? Is it a show? What is it? This conversation, whatever it is, I want it to be like a deep breath, that sort of thing. We got the whole rat race of our day and everything that we're trying to do. So many influences coming in. Take a deep breath in the day. Let's like dive in on fasting space for just a little bit, with this conversation here. And then just like as a metaphor for what we're actually trying to do in our life. Just open up some space for health. positive self-talk makes a huge difference in how much I get done in a day. Yeah, it's so important. Yeah, I think about, totally loved the book we went through in the fall, Thinking Fast and Slow. And, think of positive self-talk. There were a couple sessions we did in there that were like priming the slots, and I challenge people, actually get in front of a mirror and like pep talk yourself, and just tell yourself, like, I am strong and powerful and I am getting this stuff done and I am stepping on my path. And it's like loading in all these thoughts to like psych yourself up. Like you could, spend $1,500 a month and whatever, I'm just making that up, hire yourself some celebrity, personal life coach to follow you around and like pep talk you, or you can develop the habits yourself for free in your own space to give yourself the most positive self-talk that you can. I try to bring it, from this direction. I say, I give you as much encouragement as I can. And, this is an issue. This is something that I'm like trying to do better, of learning to do to myself. I'm like, I don't know, you give me your honest feedback. I'm all about, I take my own medicine. I tell people, look in the mirror, be honest about like, what is the case? Like, I like my own self-assessment. Like, I'm a pretty chill person. I kind of like, I'm okay to just kind of, just chill out. Not always like super peppy, but I kind of want to be, I'm like, sometimes like I'll watch, our little conversation, try to see like, oh, I want to bring a chill vibe, help people relax, chill out. I also want to bring energy to people, encouragement, Do we do that? Do you think? That's kind of the balance that I'm trying to go, but it totally makes an effect. Instead of transformation, I tend to say I'm upgrading. Yeah, I like that. That's wonderful. Give a little upgrade to the operating system. That is a beautiful process. Journey. I was thinking about the journey, doing a little reflecting on this space. I just give you some of the thoughts. I was sitting here yesterday. I think my general process for this conversation, this experience, the live. I do the live. If I have the space for it, I try to listen to it, try to like, learn from it. Say like, there was an experience, like we went live and had a talk. How did it go? How did it sound? Like, and then I do some reflecting on it. Sometimes I mix it down. I turn it into the podcast. That takes a little bit to edit that down. Sometimes I've chopped it up into like shorts. I've tried my hand at that, or little clips. But after I kind of reflect on that, then I'll just do, some reflecting. Like, well, what would keep the conversation going? We'll talk about tomorrow, Were there questions that people had? Does it lead in a direction? Maybe I open up a space, do some reading, try to, get those thinking, the thoughts flowing in new directions. Think new thoughts. This is what I'm, trying to do. This is what I enjoy doing, Like, let's try to come up with something new ways to think about things, new tools to be helpful, Anyway, the main reflection that I was having yesterday, it was just more just like thinking about the journey. I was like, and the thought was in like, oh, the song was coming to me, and I was trying to figure out if I could play it on here. Like, there are so many restrictions on what you can and can't say, what music you can and can't do. Channels get into trouble for copyright stuff, and so I was like, trying to figure out if I could play this song. I couldn't figure it out, but the song is funny, and it's just a peppy, fun song. It basically says like, it's got this peppy beat, kind of electronic sort of thing, and people saying like, where are we going? Like, they keep asking the question like, where are we going? And like, the answer is like, we're not going anywhere, actually. And so I just kept having this thought, like with the song and the experience, I was like, all right, where are we going? Simple fasting, fasting space. The funny thought I was having, I was like, oh, we're just like going nowhere. Which like classically you would say like, well, where are things going? Is it going nowhere? You just say it was like a bad thing. I was like, oh, we're on a journey, and this is a metaphor I've tried to really lean into because I love it. I feel like I'm on a journey. Don't exactly know where it is going or where it is going to look like. Like, when I left my primary care practice to do this, simple fasting, just lean into the consulting, lean into whatever like happens. Like the live was not on my radar, really. Maybe I had a thought, like, oh, I said like, I knew like live was a thing. I was like, oh, it's interesting. I wonder how people do that. Maybe I'd had the thought, but it never was a thought to me. Like, oh, I should do it. I definitely had some thoughts in there a couple years ago. Like, you could never do that. You're not the type of person who could do something like that. Like, that's crazy, And so it's just interesting. See, here's like a journey. We were talking about this the other day. When we're talking about developing a way of being, like if we have a goal, like it has to be just one little thing. But when we're focusing on a way of being, like we're saying yesterday, an identity, like what is happening, like that just opens up so much like potential. Like we're just becoming something better. We're looking for an upgrade of some kind. Like we don't know what it is. It could be anything. What if it's something better than we were thinking? And then that's kind of what I was thinking with this live. I really do love it. I just really do like it. To me, it feels much better than like just editing all these scripted videos. And it might be that it's just better as a human experience. Like for me, I don't know. Is it better for you? Would people rather have the videos? Some evidence would suggest it was. This is why I was kind of in this reflecting. Like a lot of the videos, maybe we could dive through and look. Like some of the earlier, videos on my channel, thousands and thousands of views. And like at that time, I thought, oh, maybe this will really be turn into something. And now we're down to about 13. And bless you all for being here. And I just love it. And it doesn't really bother me. I'm not going to sit here and stress about views. I'm just going to do the things that feel good and feel like wholesome, positive things. But also, it's good to reflect on these things. And I'm open to feedback because some people say like, well, like just because I think something doesn't mean like, oh, I think this is good. But I have a few biases, you know what I mean? I'm a little biased for my own thing. Somebody says, oh, it'd really be better if you just mix these thoughts all down. Put them in a video once a week. That's about all we can take. I once spent $400 for a 12-week online weight loss program. It was a group, and basically it was a pep talk every day. Lost 0 pounds because it never addressed the mental aspect. Yeah. Live session started. I have lost 16 pounds. Excellent. Yes. No white knuckling it. So glad to hear that. I really am so glad to hear that. Thank you for sharing that. So yeah, the whole thing for me, it is a journey. I've been thinking about the journey, okay, out of my little office where I went every day for a decade plus, in and out, back and forth, one room, back and forth, like the thing. Say, open up some space, and it's just interesting to reflect, like, on what's happened. Like, oh, some different things have happened. Like, it is a different way of being, and it's, like, gone in a direction that I'm like, I like it, it feels good. This is the type of pattern that I just want to model for people. Say, hey, find some open space in life, wherever you can find it, whether that's fasting is like just showing us specifically in the domain of a food space. Hey, some openness here can help us find space for flourishing to happen. Open space anywhere is a model for that. Do we have enough space between the way we're organizing our life just to have that mental space? A meditation, reflection type of space. 5 minutes even to start writing the journal. So key. Maybe that's the first step. To me, like you're saying, you can spend tons of money on huge programs. And to me, that's like we were saying the other day. Like, this is the randomized controlled trial, right? This is putting people into an industrial process. It says you will do this at this time and you will follow these things and everything is a number. And then we take that process and we say, does it work against this industrial process where you do this? And I'm like, I played that game a bit. I did a fasting study. It wasn't a randomized controlled study, but it was a very precise observational study. And there is definitely value to it. I don't want to say there's no value to it. There's a big part of me that wanted to stay at the university, try to get giant NIH grants, try to run a gigantic fasting study at an RCT, taking my intervention. My study was very cool. It has great results. I don't know how it comes to be that people are able to talk about amazing things, better. Read my paper, I have it linked on the website. I got a video on it on the channel. But I just thought, when I really sat and reflected, okay, we have this powerful process, fasting process, of I've been experiencing it with people for a decade, that health can flourish, that people can lose weight without, huge programs, And that's the observation that I made, is the observation that you see, which is that you can spend tons of money and you can go through things that should work on a paper, also. But until you really dive into the root level of it, which is very hard to do in an industrialized process, a human being, as much as we can do the upgrades, okay, we're not a computer program. We're not a robot, And this is the thing that really, to me, unlocks long-term success and progress in health. There's lots of studies in medical literature on weight loss that say basically every weight loss program works. But most of these studies are very short-term. And this is true. You can shift a lot of things around a short-term, but the only thing that really matters is long-term. How do things work in the long term? And what is the way of being that helps something like that to become sustainable? How do you teach someone? How do you help someone to learn a different way of being? That is not the type of thing that you can really just stamp out in a 12-week trial, And to me, this sort of space, daily sort of check-in sort of thing, deep thinking on these things, to me is kind of the way to do it. Anyway, so as a process for myself, I was on a journey. I'm trying to figure some stuff out, how to learn, how to do some of these things. And now I'm trying to tie all these threads to back together. I was saying this song that I was reflecting on is about a journey that ends up going nowhere. And I was like, well, this is kind of the thing too, because a big thing that I try to communicate, the big thing that intersects with the mental health, what we're trying to do, find a space of peace and contentment, right? This is the end game that ties everything together. Physical health, mental health. Look at the analogies we've used. Building a cocoon, like we said, protecting from the environment, creating a little micro-environment, where health can flourish. Realize, say, okay, I went on this whole journey. I did all these things. Look at all the trails. It's we ended up back where we started. Means the realization that we actually lack nothing. We have everything that we need. This is finding gratitude and presence in the current moment, right here and now. Stop seeking external validation for everything. Finding light, right? Finding purpose, finding meaning, joy, peace, presence, right here. This is what fasting shows us as a model that we can bring into other domains in our life. That actually the body is strong and powerful, that the being, whatever it is, the mind and the body, strong and powerful, has everything it needs right here in this moment. Do not need to consume anything or buy anything in order to encounter health and positivity and lightness and an experience. That's like a journey to nowhere. It's like, see, I do all these things. I've done all this. I've gone through all these things and realized that actually there was nowhere actually to go. Just to being. Because see, our whole culture is all doing, right? We are a doing culture, and we look down upon being. Someone sits around and is just being. Think of the judgment that you could even bring on yourself. Like, you're not accomplishing anything. Lazy. The rebel in me will not conform to someone else's weight loss program. This is my program. I'm less likely to rebel against myself. I just love that thinking. Yeah. I would describe myself, however true it is, as generally a contrarian nature. So I can really resonate with that. Most people kind of like that, right? People do not like to be told what to do. I certainly do not. And I think that's generally a good mindset to have. That's a very healthy mindset. Like, we have a lot of people just pushing their will on people because they just tell people this is how it is and buy my stuff, and this is what is right, But in the big picture, we look at society and we say it's things not exactly going in a super healthy direction here. It's let's open up that awareness a little bit. This is what I really mean when you're getting to that identity, like we're talking about yesterday. What is my path? We want to develop our own system. I've described, we got different tools in a toolkit. These are all avenues of self-exploration. These are all tools that can help us express our version of health. What does our path look like? We all got similar tools, but the expression of it in our own unique lives and situations can be totally different. And I really love this thought, build your own weight loss program. It's like a choose your own adventure book. You know what I mean? Nobody telling you what to do. That beautiful session. No rules for weight loss, right? There are structures that can serve someone. There are processes that can serve someone. There are different avenues and choices, paths. I have an image once. I might have showed it here. The organizational features of this system I'm using are not perfect, but I have an image. I'll show you at some point. But it's got, it shows this has been your path to this point, and then it's got a dot in the middle, and then it shows 1,000 different, lines coming out of it. It's these are your possible paths, in the future. And we can't change the past, but the future is actually open. The total openness in front of us, and we are not defined by our past. We can change the stories we tell about ourselves, and we can create a path forward for ourselves. The big thing that I think health learning should be about is just equipping people with tools and understanding to realize how many options are available. what do the potential, like what do at least some potential processes look like? Like think how much weight loss counseling historically has been so rigid and dogmatic, and it's just told people, look, this is very simple. You just got to get that calorie number to this thing and you are golden. And if you don't do that, there's just something wrong with you. Like we could probably summarize every piece of nutrition advice from like 1975 to 1990, I don't know, 2005. It probably is like some variation of that, you know? When the reality is of course much more complex than that. Included, did you see this story? You know, I probably could find a way. Maybe I should do a deeper dive on it. But did you see this story was it just last week or was it 2 weeks ago, where it came out about how this specific farm makes like all these like free range eggs or whatever? That they're actually like, they feed their chickens like all this stuff that isn't so good. I haven't really read into it. I read some headlines and stuff. But they did the testing on the eggs, and that the eggs actually were like really high in omega-6 fats, low in omega-3 fats. So basically eating the eggs, one article I saw said it's just basically like drinking canola oil. It's not like you're paying all this money for these pasture-raised eggs, but the actual nutrition content of it wasn't so good. And like you compare it, because like eggs that are really grown in a natural way, the chickens are out in the woods eating bugs, and they're like actual real free range, not industrial fake factory free range, like actually full of omega-3s and tons of vitamins and minerals. And it was just showing me, as I was thinking about it, okay, like what we eat is so important. Like, does everybody gets, like, we need nutrition, right? We need vitamins. Vitamins called vitamins because they're vital and all this sort of stuff. So, like, we want to bring nourishment into our bodies. This is the point of eating. And you can see, have you seen it? Do you know the picture? Have you just seen it in your own experience? Sometimes you get an egg and it's like, it's hardly yellow. It's just this pale. But like, man, you got an egg from your local farmer and it's just like orange. It's like my shirt, you know, in the thing. And you're like, whoa, like, there's so much nutrition in there. You know, you can see it. Just that vitamin A coloring it. All the colors we get in our food is just vitamins. You know, that's why I say eat the rainbow. Get the colors in. That's the actual nutrients. So much health in it. And so think about, just in this example, if you can so clearly see it, the quality, the nutrition, like you buy one egg versus another, and you can see, man, one is giving us tons of omega-6 pro-inflammatory fats, one much healthier, giving us something much different. So like we can have a debate, like people debate, even are eggs healthy, right? And so think how many decades people went say, oh, an egg might actually kill you. It's gonna give you cholesterol and clot off your arteries, for God's sake. Like, no, okay. But within that, if you are eating eggs from just think of this. Remember I did the one Chicken Planet. Just think of the process. If you are eating eggs from a totally unhappy, abused, inflammatory chicken full of antibiotics who ate nothing but soybeans, you know, is like not natural in any fashion, and that this egg actually could be like pro-inflammatory and it's full of unnatural fats. Like, do you see that eating an egg could mean totally different things? And think of all the nutrition studies that are done that are telling you, oh, we did the study on eggs and it said this and that, you know? Or we did the study on red meat that says this and that, you know? But like, you start to see how complex it is. And it's not just eating a meat, you know? It's like, it's not just eating an egg. It's not even just eating a plant. Like, what happened to that plant, you know? Was that thing genetically modified, grown in a soup of toxic chemicals, run over by, you know, tractors and exhaust and oil, and then, you know, washed up and slapped in a thing? Or did it come from like an actual space? Like, remember the session we did, everything matters. I believe that. Everything matters in health. And I was just thinking this week how profound it is that there's this whole community of people in medicine who are just so calorie focused, they say the only thing that matters is a calorie. Doesn't matter where it comes from. There are like legitimate, famous influencer doctors tell you, well, you could eat ice cream all day long, and as long as you kept your calories in a good space, it wouldn't matter. Oh my gosh. When the reality is so much different, you know? It's like, okay, choosing the healthy food, say, you want to try to lose weight? Do you think eating an egg versus eating an ice cream, is it going to have a different outcome? Okay, it's like, obviously it does. Pat says, I get my eggs from a family farm at my local farmer's market. Incredible thing to do. They have all different kinds of chickens. The shells in my carton are all different colors and sizes, and so are the yolks. Isn't it so much fun? Yeah, we get our eggs in a similar manner. I think the variation in that setting makes the nutrition much more complete. Completely agree. That is, I mean, it absolutely is the case. It absolutely is the case. That is the way to do it. So think of these sessions then. People don't even think, okay, a calorie is not just a calorie. And think how far the reality is from that. That even like picking the right food, that you can actually drill in on the higher quality. I took a screenshot of some social media post the other day. It says the ultimate black pill moment is Americans traveling to Europe and tasting what real food actually tastes like. And then coming back and realize the type of stuff that we are being basically force-fed here. I experienced that, okay? I went to Spain in 2019, incredible vacation that I had right before the pandemic. And we experienced that. I could not believe sitting on the Mediterranean coast, heading to the markets there, and oh my gosh, the fresh seafood and the apricots and even the almonds. You see, just the quality of this stuff is just so incredible. For not much money. I'm like, just the experience of cooking there with just the simplest ingredients, the fresh olive oil, the olives right from the grove and the things. I was like, just the way they have this going here. I was like, part of it was like I hadn't taken a vacation for a while. I probably had just some bias. I was like, but I was like, man, like just to have the experience of going here and just eating this food, I felt so much better. Oh my gosh. I was like, I swear, like you could just to have enough to get by and afford some of these beautiful oranges from right in this Spanish orange grove. I mean, it just felt like a miracle in and of itself. And yeah, the produce, to have an experience here and you realize, okay, like I went to the store the other day and I had pears that were shipped in from South America, and then like, a bunch of like the berries all came from Mexico, and I'm just like, and it's like, okay, it's winter here. It's like, it's a luxury. We're eating berries in winter. This is like a luxury. You wouldn't be able to do it almost any other time in human history. So say it's a luxury to be able to do it. But to think of just the quality of it, then I'm like, you kind of eat it. It's like, it's not like sitting on the Spanish coast. I can tell you that. So this is what I'm trying to dive in on. Everything matters. Not only are people who say only a calorie matters. It's like the quality of the calorie matters. This is what I'm wanting to just really say in not so many words. It's just like, it really is an investment to realize that the quality of food matters and that it gives health. We're trying to have health and flourishing in our body, to be the most healthy version of ourselves that we can possibly be. Is say it takes healthy food to do that. It's not just trying to bring calories in. Like we think, like you go to the gas station, you put gas in the tank, just done. It's just the gas runs the thing. A human being is not like that, you know? I mean, maybe a car, you say a car is like that. We have really standardized fuel for a car. If you put in junk fuel, though, the octane way below where however it works, I'm not a car guy, where the carburetor can handle it or whatever, the car is going to be jittery, right? So yeah, I guess quality fuel matters for a car too, but like think about the quality fuel for a human being. You get the octane rating wrong on that stuff, right? You're putting in this synthetic food, not really tuned to the needs of the body. Do you see that the engine can start sputtering, you know? We want the highest quality fuel for the human body, right? And it's an investment to do that. I'll just tell you, it's personally hard, even for myself. Like, I feel like out of, most people, I'm like a little more dialed in than average on healthy food than the average person. Probably fair to say. It's hard to go to the store and pay more. You say, oh, I could buy this one, at this store for this price. You go to the Natural Foods Co-op, you say, I'm paying like twice as much. Okay, but just taste it. Does it taste better? Why does it taste better? Taste is giving information to the body about, the quality of it. And this matters. You want to bring quality into your body. We become the food, the food becomes us. Someone was describing that the other month in the comments, like that's like a sacred process. We got to bring so much respect to that. Like if we are bringing food into our body, it's like becoming part of us. We want to build our body out of the healthiest, strongest things possible. This is how we experience the most health and flourishing possible. And to me, this is the two sides of the same coin that I always try to say. A fasting process and a healthy eating process, in my view, are the same thing. Can't really have one without the other. If we could have one without the other, it would probably, to be honest, it would just be the healthy eating, because like we can't fast forever. We can survive a long time. We keep eating. It's like, are we eating the healthiest food? To me, okay, healthy food, you say, is that the real foundation of health? A lot of times I will describe fasting as the foundation of health. Let's explore both sides. See, to me, it's the same thing, but we can look at it from one side versus the other. Considering fasting as the base layer of health is great because it gets us into this mindset where it's like very empowering. We have everything that we need. We don't, for a large period of time even, especially within this day, okay, we are less dependent on constant food than we thought. We are not so dependent and needy. We build a strong and powerful mindset. We find peace and contentment and grounding in that space, incredibly powerful space. Okay, you take that mindset and then you add the healthy food to it. Like, to me, I love that sort of framework. You could look at it the other direction and you could say, look, we are what we eat. Every day we are rebuilding the body out of the food that we give it. We want to be building the strongest possible foundation. Okay, you build your pattern and way of being about putting only the highest quality food in, and that is like a nourishing and life-giving process. And then you take that framework and you add fasting to it, and you say, and I'm going to put that solid process into a framework or windows. See, both those is like two mental constructs of getting to the same place, depending on what feels best. Higher quality food tastes better and is much more filling with less quantity of food from the farmer's market. See, thank you for sharing this, because this is exactly the truth. We want to be satisfied with the food that we have. And here is like a big issue that I think really happens. I think something we really need to have a huge discussion on in our society. We say we're drowning in food. There's food everywhere. But the food is like a stripped down, commoditized version of what should be a sacred, thing, We've just taken all the heart out of it, We've turned farming and agriculture, which is like probably the most important part of being a human being on this planet is like having a beautiful process to help bring nourishing, life-giving foods so that we can stay alive and healthy. Like what is more important than that? And we've turned it into this incredible strip mining and, thing. Whereas like look at what it looks like. Gigantic industrialized process, huge amounts of energy going into it, tons of oil and natural gas. I've seen some stats historically about the amount of energy. Like the whole point of growing food is like getting energy from it. We're like harvesting sunlight, bringing it through a natural process, concentrating it into a fruit or a vegetable. It's like what we're eating concentrated sunlight, How incredible. It used to be in the past that you would get a return on investment. For every amount of energy you put into a field, you're getting more energy out of it. Now it's completely reversed because we're using so much energy to run these processes. We spend basically 10 calories of energy for every calorie we actually eat. It's like, you see, there's a process that is so out of balance. So we're like strip mining the earth to like squeeze profit out of it instead of trying to build it up to fill it up with nutrition so that it's like, see, that everything matters. There's just trade-offs to all of these things. And the way the trade-off works is what you are saying. We end up with a product that doesn't satisfy. Say, well, we can give it cheaper. We help people to eat cheaper. Okay, but then they aren't satisfied, so they have to eat more of it. And we end up with empty calories that aren't giving the nutrition that the body needs. I think this is a lot of what happens. We end up with empty calories. Body needs nutrients, needs vitamins, is like presumably tracking this stuff. Body definitely knows when we're deficient in things. We don't feel satisfied because we're not getting the nutrition we actually need, but we got a lot of calories. See, I think people who focus only on calories are so far off base. See, the only thing that matters for weight is calories. You hit a calorie target, then you're golden. It's like, but we haven't gotten the nutrients, the nutrition we need. People aren't satisfied, with it. Leads us to overeat. Creates these terrible cycles. And have you experienced this? You made an investment in quality food and you actually felt satisfied from it. And this is where we can start reversing some of the cost, is to realize if you can actually be satisfied, you pay more for quality food, but you can eat less and it goes further and you feel more satisfied, you don't necessarily end up spending as much more as you think. You're gonna spend more. But what an investment though, to eat less total calories but get more nutrition, feel more satisfied. You see, life is better. When you're in a space like that, when you're eating solid, substantial meals with big nutrition and you finish it and you feel really good and you're like, man, like that was great. Easier than to flow into a fasting space out of that. You know what I mean? So these things feed into each other, back and forth. You open up a fasting space, you get the body running off the reserve energy, insulin levels way down, blood sugar stable, burning through body fat. Most people feel less hungry in a space like that. At least after some number of weeks as you train to do it. Doesn't feel that way right away usually, but over time through a process, most people say it comes to feel that way. And then from that sort of space, then you add in like healthy, substantial food. It's like, just makes it all the much better, So that is definitely the cycle we want. I give you great encouragement to lean into both of those processes insofar as they serve you. Try to purchase the healthiest, highest quality, most natural, locally produced food as possible. Ideally, we would eat nothing else than that. And then I saw a saying once, it was like, if your grandma wouldn't know that the food was like a food, if it didn't exist when your grandma was growing up, like don't eat it, It's like, yeah, that is a very, very good Very good perspective in that regard. I did the talk the other week on the new HHS nutrition recommendations, which pretty much, in as much, just say that. I say just stay away from any political discussion about food and just look at the chart and realize everything on this chart is just natural, whole foods that come from the earth in a natural way. That is the sort of stuff that you want. Take those sort of foods, put them into a fasting space. You can dial that in as thoughtfully and gently as you want. And honestly, these two processes in and of themselves do have the power to drive anybody to a weight loss goal that they want over time. And then you add the movement on top of it, is like a whole nother bonus. So many people trying to do it the other way around or just completely exercise themselves to weight loss without diving into these things. And then we got the whole other layer, the mental health, probably the most. Let's put that one on the way sub basement, really supporting this whole process. Beautiful mental health processes. Make sure that everything that we're doing in health is actually its own wellness process, Buying healthy food, preparing deeply meaningful, delicious, healthy, nourishing food, okay? That's a wellness practice. You're going to feel better. You're going to be thinking better. It just makes everything in life better, okay? So healthy food, a wellness practice. Fasting, a wellness practice, right? It's a period of rest and resetting. Getting the autophagy pathways running, getting the cleansing protocols running. So we only pursue a wellness practice so far as it is helping us to feel better, right? And then, of course, movement is its own wellness practice. Taking a walk, of course, one of the best ways, clear the thoughts. And then like we say, real wellness practice, right? The journaling, the meditation. So all these things is like a big mix. We weave it all together in our own way. Come up, build your own weight loss plan, choose your own adventure. I give you the most encouragement. Keep stepping forward in these things. Let's do it today. This day, our opportunity to move forward in health. And been so beautiful to share this space with you. Thank you for the thoughts. Give you great encouragement for the weekend. Have a beautiful health experience. And I'll look forward to being back with you next week.